I agree. I think if Mad Life was there, it would be Mad Life, but he's not, so I don't know. But we are. I think we are now picks and bans, so we can transition and stop dribbling. So that would be fantastic.
It would be fantastic. So I'm going to need to refresh my stream because I think I'm slightly behind right now. So take it away, Mr. Asianson.
Well, I'm also not in the lobby, so.
GG.
Yeah. Also, if anyone didn't realize, Messes has renamed himself to Morpheus with a Z because Messes has a Z at the end.
See
Nice.
what I did there?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But okay, Champion Select picks and bans. I'm going to say that you guys in chat are actually ahead of us. I know, it's weird to think about, but because we're casting over stream, then there's delay of when we're saying it and then it comes out on stream again. I know, it's kind of weird, but you will be behind us. So we will see. Thoughts quality. Okay, got it. So our producer's telling us how to actually get on top of like the delay. So I'll start off. Ban champions: Lee Sin, Shen, Fresh, Zed, Oriana, and Elise.
Yep, and if you have any queries or confusion, that is Cowtard, who has renamed to Calmarine. So, interesting for him to do that, but it is indeed Cowtard, so it's their mid laner.
I don't know what to call him now. I guess we can just call him Cal because that's the logical progression through his different names. But Cal Marine, I like it. Like I can see where he's going with that one. But Zach has been picked up by the Thai police as I reach for my post-it notes, and Corky, and it looks like we may have a NASA's coming out. I'm not going to theory craft about them just as of yet until they're locked in. And it looks like they are swapping up to Vi as well, which would make me extremely happy.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Calmarine, surely that's just a hippo, isn't it?
Calmarine.
A marine cow. Hippo is effectively a cow that lives in the water.
I'm going to have to message him.
Maybe it's he's just a hippo fan. Not too sure. I'm going to call him Cowtard because that's mainly what people know him as, and it'll cause confusion if we start calling him Calmarine, even though it's fairly obvious it's still him, or Hippo indeed. But yeah, as you're saying, the Nasus was not locked in from the side of Copenhagen Wolves. It will be a Vi, which is going to make you very happy, and all the puns you have, I'm sure, written down somewhere, Pulse, to go to.
Of course.
And also the Corky. So again, we apologise if there's like 15 picks already been put in. That would be impossible, but you get my point, because we are behind by 5-6 seconds.
Guess you could say it is at impossible. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. So with the rest of the picks, it looks like we have the Draven coming out along with Nami. And Draven Nami, I'm hoping it's Draven. I'm going to message one of the players to make sure. But if it's Draven, okay, we haven't seen Draven in a long time because of his passive nerf methods, and I think you know best than anyone as both an AD carry main and a Draven main for a little while as well. Huge amounts of damage, excellent power in the laning phase, and he can also afford kind of not even to build attack speed at some point because his axes hit so hard. However, that nerf to his passive really has hurt him. It'll be interesting to see how the changes to his passive kind of affect him, because they're going to make it like all of the gold actually comes off now, but also reduce the gold per stack. So we'll see how this affects Draven.
Yeah, I do love me some Draven, but as you say, like, the passive has changed. It used to be a bleed, which did a lot of damage, and it could finish both CS and kills. Plus, it just did more damage in lane. It was kind of a harassment basing that every time you hit them with the flying axes, you did more damage. It's now been changed to the League of Draven, which I'm sure most people know about, where you build stacks depending on how many axes you catch or how many CS you acquire, and then you cash some of that adoration in every single time you get a kill on a champion. So the problem that a lot of people are saying is that it's too snowbally. If you're behind and you're losing stacks of the adoration, you just fall further behind. You effectively have no passive. And if you're crushing a lane, then you're just getting even more items and you're crushing it harder. So there was no kind of middle ground. And that's one of the reasons a lot of Draven players have dropped him. I still personally love Draven. I love his mechanics. I love the way he works. I love playing aggressive with him. But the main place where he falters and he really suffers is in high engaged compositions. So you see the lineup right now from Copenhagen Wolves. They've got a Malphite, they've got a Vi, who can both jump on top of Draven's face, and there's nothing he can do. If his flash is down here, Pulse, he's going to get hit by everything in the kitchen sink, and he can't move away from it.
Yeah, he really needs that meaty front line, and he's kind of a champion I wouldn't say you necessarily have to build your entire composition around, like a Vayne or a Kog'Maw, because Kog'Maw is used in the Korean scene for sieging purposes. But Draven definitely doesn't have that escape, and that's like that really hurts him. So we'll see how this works out. But definitely the laning phase, he'll have a huge advantage, at least over that lane. And we have actually swapped up to the stat. Take a look at both of these teams, Time Police and Copenhagen Wolves, very impressive stats between them, but if we look at them side to side, I think Time Police are actually beating them, at least in the mid lane, 4 to 2.4 on the KDA. So we'll see how this comes into effect. Of course, because this is actually from the, sorry?
Dude, look at Reckless's kill to death ratio.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I threw up a little in my mouth.
I did. It's kind of disgusting. But I would want to say that I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Matters, please.
You were talking about mid laners. You were saying that the Time Police have better stats in their mid, right?
Oh, right, yeah, of course. Gold is very important to mention that these are only from this tournament. They're not from, like, for example, their previous tournaments or competitive play or EWES Challenger Series. So if these look kind of like improportional to what you would expect, for example 21 KDA on Reckless, it's because this is from the tournament alone. So if there's huge disparities between the gold per minute or gold per match, by the way, they're gold per match, not gold per minute. Yes, that confused me as well. So if they were earning like 10k gold a minute, that would be a very fast game. We'd be hitting late game in like 2 minutes. That would be crazy. But yeah, we are now ticking down. Bass, can we confirm if we're going to go to commercials? Okay, so we're going to go to commercials. When we get back, we'll be in the first game of the semi-finals with Copenhagen Wolves and Time Police. We'll see you very soon. Very soon? We'll say shortly and soon. We'll see you very soonly. There we go.
Fade away in thicker
Hello ladies and gents, welcome back. We are into the fray, into the rift once again. This time around it's going to be Copenhagen Wolves against the Time Police semi-finals of the DreamHack Bucharest LAN. Best of 3 format. I met this John by Pulse, and we are right into the action here, Pulse. Quick disclaimer to you guys, our producer has said that XSplit is acting a bit funky right now, so if we do have a very quick XSplit crash, we'll restart the stream as soon as physically possible, so don't freak out, it could very well happen. Fingers crossed though it doesn't. Regardless though, Pulse coming in, what a surprise. Whenever we cast together it always happens.
I know, curse of the commentator, or even just curse of the Pulse and Metas duo.
Yeah.
But I agree, Metas. If the stream does go down, it will only be for a couple seconds, so stay around, it won't be for forever, and we'll be right back into the action. So, honestly, we probably would have carried on talking because we wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't, but Bass did inform us that his XSplit's acting a bit strange. So, yeah, just a heads up, the pause has just came and gone, so we're back live once again, and it looks as though the Time Police are opting for a potential invade here, Pulse.
Yeah, very possible. We saw them early on face down Pulse Esports, taking down my namesake and doing very well indeed. We do have Young Buck in the top, and in fact he's not gone into the brush. This is good and bad. One, he doesn't have the vision of if they do go for the invade, and he doesn't have a ward there. But at the same time, he can't get like hit by Acro Prison from over the wall. And Young Buck will now see them, and that's actually very clever of recognizing that they would go for that route. They'd actually circle all the way round and then go through to the red instead of taking the more direct path. Then that would be way more safe than waiting in the brush. So very intelligent play by Young Buck.
What I'm going to say, Pulse, this is a casting nightmare. Have a look at the support and also the top laner for the Time Police. You've got Bogdanovici and Bogdan. I just know I'm going to screw up at some point.
Yeah, because we're going to have to pronounce the rest of it, because sometimes we'll just shorten it out, we'll say it once so you know who we mean, and then shorten it, but now we can't, because both of them start and, well, don't end the same. It's kind of like Jankos and Jankiz, I think, from one of the Turkish teams, so that was very confusing to us. But, either way, in the mid lane, it will be Ari facing down Kassadin. Ari will have the inherent advantage against Kaltod, or Cal Marine, as he's renamed himself, and we just have a discussion during the break saying that I wonder if that's where the Navy SEALs came from.
It very well could have been, and I was saying, you know, instead of needing to flashbang and just squirt those others in rooms and blind everybody. That sounded a bit more...
It did. It sounded worse.
It sounded dirtier than I thought it would. So let's just move on from that slight mishap and say the lanes have switched up, Pulse, while I go on face desk.
Yep. I heard it, and I hope you're okay. So, now... They've actually gone for the lane swap-ups, right, and Limited and Reckless in the top lane. That will both allow Reckless to get almost perfect farm, and allow them to push out that laner of Zac. In the top lane, had they just gone for the normal swap-up, it would have been Malphite and Zac, and they wouldn't have done anything for the next 20 minutes. They'd just stick up them and literally do nothing. Shook hitting that level 3. And I think this is one of the first times I've really seen Shook on Vibe, but he's recognizing what type of jungler she is. Very strong in the early game, huge burst, just like the type of junglers he's used to, such as Lee Sin, such as, who else does he play? Elise as well, who are very, very strong at dueling, so that's really why he's gone for that. He's actually going to go into the bot lane and see if they can follow up. Malphite doesn't have the greatest of ganking potential early game, however.
Yeah, the thing about Shook is he's a very aggressive jungler. I mean, that is his go-to mentality in the jungle. He wants to gank frequently and make plays and make kills. So, as he said, Lee Sin and Elise are both right up his alley in that aspect, and so is Vi. So, it's going to be helping out Young Buck, babysitting him a tiny bit here, allowing him to get some farm and experience, while at the meantime, at the top lane, Mofire has gone in to help out Bogdanovici. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. That's a crazy name to say as an Englishman.
I know, because they are a Romanian team, we're just like, it blows our mind. It's so difficult for us to do, and that's why we have... Plus, because we're from different parts of England, so we pronounce everything differently anyway. Mofire looking for the gank on the top lane. In fact, he's just clearing out, helping Zac on his way, and actually takes huge damage in return. He's got that double whipping. That comes out from Unlimited. Well, Danovici goes for the counter engage, just trying to get them off as jungler, and I think Mofire is going to reconsider next time he goes for that. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, aggression comes on to Cal Marine, and he's not having a fun time.
Okay, apparently the chat is helping me out. They say pronounce it like Bogdanovic. So I'm gonna take that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take that advice, and if it turns out to be wrong, then hey, it's the chat's fault, right? I can't be held accountable anymore. So Bogdanovic and Bogdan, that's still going to be really confusing in fast team fights, but we'll try and get it as good as possible, boss.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, because that would have been an absolute nightmare. So we will call him that from now on, and I'm sure I'll forget in 5 minutes. So, Coutard in the mid lane, again, he's level 4. He's actually doing not too badly against Ari, which is a little bit, well, not confusing, but he's just doing a very good job of kind of mitigating that harass from Ari, because he is melee versus the range, and you can see the poke coming out right now. He has opted for the Doran shield, because he's recognizing he'll see all of that auto-attack harassment go down onto him. We've actually seen some Ari players opt for the level 1 Doran's Blade, just for the extra auto-attack harassment. It's kind of like the same principle as Kennen, but he also has the extra damage from his W passive.
I actually really like the idea that chat just had. We can call him Bogdan and Top Dan. You know, just for easier reference. I'm not sure if he'd be happy with that, but it would make it much easier from a casting and spectatorial viewpoint. Either way, Bogdanovic is getting some help from Mofire again at top lane. Nothing's really kicking off. No early first bloods. Everybody by and large happy to just get their farm on right now. That being said, at top lane, Bogdanovic is taking a lot of damage from Unlimited and also Reckless.
Yeah, Top Dan not having a good time. And, well, Mofire trying his best, but he's really just being confined to that top lane metas, and that's one of the worst things as a jungler. If you're having to commit all your time to a lane, especially when you're someone like Jarvan or even like Vi, you want to be getting it over everywhere and getting those ganks off and not having to babysit. Sometimes a typical play is in fact just to go for the 3-man dive onto a lane, and that's why you would also swap up into the 2 versus 3, because at least then you have some counterplay. Specifically for someone like Malphite, who is yes very tanky, but doesn't have anything really to lock them up under tower. For example, if it was like someone indeed like Zac who has the knockback with his elastic slingshot, or even someone like Jax who could lock them all with Counter-Strike, but they don't really have that tool. So in that way, Shook is really forced to stay down there.
Very, very true. Malphite just doesn't want all that poke, and this is allowing Draven to get some farm. This is allowing Draven to get quite scary. Bogdanovic again is flashing up red, but it's smart from both Reckless and Unlimited, because Draven is very, very scary early game. He does a lot of damage with those spinning axes, so lane switching up is not just a detriment to Zac, but also doesn't allow Draven to get rolling early game with lots and lots of kills. Regardless though, quite a bit of harassment coming down, again flashing up red. Does have his cell division on availability, however, Paul, so even if he does go down, he will just be fine, unless he kind of gets killed in the middle of no man's land.
Yeah, under tower he's generally okay, and that's actually one of the reasons Zac has played in jungle, and one of the reasons why Aatrox has played in jungle, because they are so good at diving early, which is something because tower damage has increased, and towers are very difficult to kill early game, because you can just dive, you can eliminate the tower aggro, and then you're good to go. You can just walk on out. Specifically with Aatrox, because he goes into Bloodwell, which is something which is a lot like a Guardian Angel. It completely removes any aggro you have from any structures, which is really, really useful. But in the top lane, yes, that's very good, but as a countermeasure, then it's way, way better. And as a answer to someone in chat, because we have now hit a pause, I am Pulse, at Impulseball, and I am joined by Metas, at Metas TV.
Correct. Completely correct. And lots of people in chat are also asking about Coutard. Is that Coutard? Yes, Calmarine is Coutard for two reasons. Why he changed his name, I guess. One is because he just wanted to be Calmarine. He was feeling it on the particular day. The second, of course, is that he joined the lobby as WinFact Coutard, which used to be his previous team, and now he has renamed to Copenhagen Wolves, just to make it easier for us. The reason why Reckless is called Fnatic Reckless is because he will be joining the lineup and the squad very, very shortly. In fact, if he hasn't already done so, I believe it's 17th of September is when he turns 18.
Yeah, something like that. I know that Reckless specifically isn't joining them for Worlds because they wanted to just stay with the lineup they've been running for months now, and that makes so much sense, Metas. Yes, Reckless is an incredibly good player, but I think, as you've said so many times, that a lot of the plaudits go to his team of Copenhagen Wolves. Sorry, to just him, but a lot of them should go to Copenhagen Wolves, because they're a very, very strong team in their own right, so they know exactly how he works. Whereas Fnatic, yes, they would have played from him, time to time, and they've recognised how good he is, but they don't have that same synergy.
Oh, apologies, it's not 18, it's 17. My bad. And
I thought you said 17.
I may have said he turns 18, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
That's how bad my memory is. I can't physically remember what I just said. I'm assuming from everyone correcting me, though, that I did say 18. I meant to say 17. I know he's turning 17, my bad.
Just claim it's the accent.
It's the accent. 17, 18. Like, you know, same thing for me.
Yep.
But people were saying Skynet, and I had a robotic voice. Was I lagging there?
Just for a second, I wasn't sure if that was me or you, so I didn't say anything. But
Because TeamSpeak was lagging. I was playing yesterday with a couple of friends, and it was lagging a lot yesterday. So I'm not sure if it's TS or just me. I'm not lagging in game or anything, so
yeah, it could be worse. I think we did have that in-joke a couple days ago, Metas, where we said we're cyborgs from the future sent to cast. The casters that you deserve, not the casters you want. So, you know.
We're not the
That's the
casters you want, but, you know, unfortunately that's what you've got. So
Kind of
deal
stuck with
it.
us, I'll be honest.
And speaking of being stuck with us, you are stuck with us and our drivel until this unpause comes about. So apparently, Scumbag Antivirus just updated randomly in the middle of a game. That's always a great thing to happen. It's just what you want.
Lovely. Yeah, we did have some sun problems before, and I did tweet that, hashtag praise the sun. I hope at least some of you get that reference. And yeah, we are just waiting for these guys to get back in. So I think one of the things to mention is that Copenhagen Wolves, let's look at their track record, okay? So they've been in 4 LANs so far, excluding this one. They've won 3 of them, and the only tournament they've ever lost in this lineup is 1 LAN, and that was Tenerife against, I want to say TCM. And they've won 9 online tournaments. So if they win this, then this will be their 5th LAN and will maintain that only one lost in, you know, all their series.
And they've won the last 6 EOS Challenger Series back to back. That's pretty significant as well, Pulse. So these guys have been on a tear recently. So I'm asking our favourite alcohol. I don't think you drink alcohol. I prefer whiskey to anything else. But back to the game. We do have the unpause.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of alcohol, but back into the game, and I'm mainly looking at Caltard at the moment because he's taking so much harassment, but the fact he's level 6, the worst of it is over. He's kind of, and in fact the bot lane, Shook takes so much damage. Honestly, if he still had that bleed passive, Shook would be unbelievably dead. But one of the great things by not having that bleed passive is that he doesn't take any turret aggro, and you can kind of weave your auto attacks between turret shots, which is really good. In the top lane, Slingshot is being charged up, doesn't choose to go for it because he did hit that level 6 region, but I think the call came in from MoFi, not quite what they're looking for.
Yeah, and this is quite a different Copenhagen Wolves to what we've seen in EOS Challenger Series, because Shook is effectively spending the entirety of his jungle time just at bot lane babysitting with Youngbuck. Normally he loves to make plays. So again, this is kind of taking Shook out of his element. That being said, Youngbuck has now hit level 6, Unstoppable Force is available, and here comes the Vault Breaker. So they have the Assault and Battery and Unstoppable combinations, Pulse. They can engage very, very hard onto this bot lane. That being said, Nami does have Tidal Wave, so that could act as somewhat of a deterrent to the engaging bots.
Yeah, because of the swap up, we've had a very quiet early game, but now we have the Assault and Battery coming into the bot lane. Huge damage coming out. Barrier has been popped. Youngbuck has used that ultimate, but First Blood picked up with the ground slam. Can't follow up onto Bogdan, but at least First Blood has come down. Turret falls in return. In fact, not in return, on top of that in the top lane. And already, Copenhagen Wolves take a strong advantage.
You know, Pulse, I'm surprised that if I saw that coming a good minute before it did, that these guys didn't, because I'm garbage at this game. Like, if I saw that happening, surely the Time Police were on the case there. They knew what was going to happen. But they still got caught. As soon as them 2 characters hit 6, as soon as you got the Unstoppable Force and Assault and Battery, you have to assume that they're going to make a big play at bot lane. Surely.
Well, actually, the point I was just going to make before we had that action message was that we've had a very quiet early game, and then it would give them a lot of time to think about what's going to happen next. And I completely agree that hard engage from the bot lane, not only is it hard engage, but it's so much CC on top of that hard engage, and by the time you've done that, they're probably already dead, as we saw onto Draven. So, also, in return, you had the Tidal Wave, yes, but Unstoppable Force is named Unstoppable Force for a reason. Tidal Wave isn't going to stop that. Assault and Battery won't stop that either. So, that's kind of... I'm not really sure what they were shooting for, especially when we've mentioned so many times that Draven... Well, he doesn't have an escape, so he's very easy to gank.
Yeah, Draven is, I would say, as a Draven main myself, hard countered by Vine. Because you said before, you can't cancel that Assault and Battery. Once it comes in, it's coming in regardless. He's unlimited from the side, so they have gone back with the lane switch ups again after taking that tower, and Nico's taking so much damage right now. He's going to be popped down from Reckless, looking for that second kill. In the meantime, in mid actually, Coutard is going to go huge and pick up the kill. onto Lenish, and now they're looking for that second kill. Bogdan's not looking too good. He has managed to land an aqua prison. Is it going to be enough damage though? Here it comes. No, it's not. Scumbag barrier blocking out that kill. And now in the middle, Kassadin goes down. Shook from the side. My god, this action suddenly exploding with 5 quick fire kills. Mofire could be falling as well to Shook. Constantly slowed, and the assault and battery get dunked, living up to its name.
It's funny because both of them have the dunk abilities and they both belong in that dunk squad. But as you said, so much action coming out in the top lane. We see these two top laners kind of trade off, but I'm not going to jump into play-by-play because, well, it will take several centuries for anything to happen. It's quite literally like eroding a rock. So 5-1 right now. Copenhagen Wolves are about 3k ahead, which is significant. Something that we can definitely see the Time Police come back from. But we've seen Copenhagen Wolves snowball from less.
Apparently our producer was watching the mid-fight as I was casting bot. That sounds like a bad thing, but actually you had a flavour of everything that was going on at once, so it worked out quite well, I feel. So regardless though, 5-1, suddenly Copenhagen Wolves just explode in this match. Reckless has picked up 2 kills and 109 CS. He's playing Corki, what do you expect? It's going to be a Phage first, followed by a Sheen, followed by a Triforce. That's just the way it goes. Here comes Shook from the side, meanwhile teleport a bot lane from Young Bucks. They're going to be looking to engage hard again. Oh, Nico gets knocked into the air. He falls to Reckless. My god, this burst damage is astronomically big, and that should in itself just transition into a free dragon.
This is literally textbook play from Copenhagen Wolves. They played this perfectly. It was the perfect lane swap up because they swapped up, meaning that Reckless wasn't going to be shut down by Draven, and then Malphite in turn could do perfectly fine in the bot lane, even if he takes a hit to CS, and he's still out farming Zac. That was good. Then they go huge on all of their lanes, and they swap up Reckless into the bot lane because he has a better early game, having farmed better. So he's not only ahead, but now he's 3-0. So that worked out. And then they got a pick and transitioned into Dragon. Literally textbook.
It honestly was, and as someone in chat said, beautiful stuff from Copenhagen Wolves. Indeed.
Right, Messes.
Followed by an awkward silence there. I thought you were going to take over, sorry.
Yeah, me too. That was the first awkward silence we've had in literally months of casting, because both of us just assumed the other person was going to talk. You know what? It's because we're English. We're too well-mannered after all. So, in the bot lane, we have Unlimited and Reckless coming back into the action. And as I said, 3-0 right now onto Reckless. He's so strong. And Unlimited gets caught by the bubble, and that's usually the sign that you see the aggression from Draven, but they're way too far behind even to swing that. In the mid lane, Kassadin trading up against Lenish on that Ahri, and this is so scary. The fact that Kassadin is ahead of Ahri and she can't shut him down, that is so bad, because when Kassadin goes for the roaming ganks, then Ahri can follow, but then he can just turn around and give her. So it means that she can't follow by fear of actually dying, and now we have the trade in mid lane. Riftwalk comes out, Spirit Rush follows up. Can we see the counterplay? And the assault and battery comes across, the Ignite's ticking down. Will he survive through this? The answer is a resounding no, and that's a 1-for-1 trade. Ooh, the added assist.
Well, you know things aren't going well when every single lane is being beaten right now. That's the case for the Time Police. Copenhagen Wolves have the upper hand in each. Here comes the Strangled Thorns. Just the tip is going to land on Bogdan. They're going to look to convert this into a kill. Will indeed do so. Reckless moves onto a pretty significant 4-0. Can Draven enter the call? He's picked up one. Looking for that second. Flashing back in. He's going to get the double kill. And the League of Draven is here. Adoration through the roof from his ever-adoring fans, and he will get some much-needed gold.
It's the League of Draven, and he's back in the game, 2-3-0. He's in good shape. He could do with kind of dying less and killing more, but you know, you could say that about any character really, Messes. But now he's in a better situation. He can at least be their saving grace, because if you have that damage onto your AD carry, he can pull you through the mid and late game, and that's something that you really can't say about like a Bruiser or like a mid lane. Yes, they're good for certain parts of the game, but the AD carry, if they get fed, they're always going to be relevant.
It's very true, and especially within Draven's case, I don't want to get carried away, because yes, that was a double kill. Yes, that's going to give the Bloodthirster and the pickaxe to Draven, which is significant when you put it in conjunction with his spinning axes. But still, the fact remains, he is against a composition that counters him pretty significantly. Unstoppable Force, Assault and Battery, Kassadin is going to scale well into this game. I was curious if Kautard was going to go the Magi Soulsteal like Overpower. Doesn't look like he's going to fall into that trap, Pulse.
Yeah, and it was last game. It was really fun. I actually made a tweet about it, but I can't actually repeat that on stream. But it's always funny when you see someone sell their Medjais, because you can feel when they're like, "Oh, this game really isn't going well anymore. I should probably sell that and pick up something more useful." Because it's very slot efficient if you have all those stacks. If you don't have those stacks, you're kind of screwed because it's horribly inefficient. And again, we have some more lags. Not quite the sun this time, but again, these guys are at the live event of DreamHack Bucharest 2013, and they do have some problems with the internet, so that's why we've gone into the pause. And if it happens for more than 5 minutes, then we can go back to questions, but for now, Metas, anything really to talk about some of the item builds, because we haven't touched on those too much.
That's true, we haven't. So you've got... I was having a quick gander across all the items and seeing if anything jumps out at me. Obviously, a Triforce at 15 minutes is going to be significant damage from Reckless, who's 4-1. 148 CS at just over 15 minutes. Unlimited has just reconnected, so fingers crossed we'll be back into this game. As I said, Draven is going to do a lot of damage with the Bloodthirster and Pickaxe. My only concern for him, however, is that it's all well and good being able to do that, but I feel Unlimited and Reckless are going to trade off much better against Nico and also Bogdan. So that's definitely one to watch for me, Pulse. Bot lane.
Yeah, so the pickaxe could definitely go into the Last Whisper, and because of the flat damage values from his abilities, he does so much damage. So there's almost no reason not to go for that second, because a lot of times you'll see AD carries go for something like a big damage item, like a Trinity Force, like an Infinity Edge, and then go for like a Phantom Dancer, or go for even like another Bloodthirst or something along those lines. But by going Last Whisper, you can either do that for one of two reasons. They built a lot of armor, or you have really good base damages in the mid lane. We have the Assault and Battery landing onto Ari. Do they have the follow-up? And yes, they do. Force Pulse comes across, flying a drag onto Shook. Does he have the damage though? They're looking for the follow into the tower. Shook taking some hits. Mofire can't turn around, but the huge ultimate from the side from Youngbuck reclaims that kill, and Calmarine picks up another in the bot lane. Nothing quite happens, but the tower is dropping incredibly low here, Metas.
Definitely is dropping low, and again you just see that mechanical play from Copenhagen Wolves as a unit, well-oiled machine, all coming in at the right place at the right time to pick up those kills, and once again just smash Lenish. Look at this trading damage from Reckless. This is what I was talking about before. It's all well and good having a lot of damage from Draven, but Triforce is actually making Corki quite tanky as well for this stage of the game, especially with the double Doran's blades in his back pocket. The Unlimited did fire off Stranglethorns, which went slightly awry, but in doing so, did force them back. This tower's very low, and then once it goes down, Reckless could go all in. There's the ultimate, actually, the Spinning Death from Nico. Won't be connecting, however, the Whirling Death, I should say. No, it is basically a Spinning Death. But they're going to pull themselves back as Counterhard comes around from the side. Does he have the burst damage? Tidal Wave has been used there, pushing everybody back. Here comes Mofire from the side as well with the Jarvan. Question is, Pulse, are they going to engage? No. No is the answer. What an anticlimax that was.
Yeah, they knew Stranglethorns was down, but they didn't want to fancy their chances even in that situation regardless. I would have said personally, just go for it, because they're getting to the stage where they're eventually going to be ground down anyway. But in the mid lane, Shook looking for this gank. He pops across the wall, doesn't really have the follow-up from his teammates, and then Jarvan was also there. Not something you wanted to go for, but they definitely just need to start making plays. It's not something that they need to go for team fights and try and outplay them, because we already know Copenhagen Wolves are superb at team fighting, and this is kind of something that's also going to come into this Metas, because the the Romanian teams are going to know. However, in the top jungle we do see Bogdanovic just find himself Young Buck, but they don't actually know each other, so they wouldn't have had the necessary research to know exactly what these players can pull out. In the bot lane, we've got everyone collapsing onto this bottom lane. Force Pulse comes across, Shook comes in, knocks aside the Nami, now moving on to Neko as well. Reckless comes in, picks up that kill. 2-0 trade, Dragon has spawned, and they'll transition into this very happily.
Yeah, kind of ironic that Vi would show Draven just how to knock somebody aside and make them stand aside, but regardless of that, it's going to be 2 free picks and also the dragon on top of that, so gold is already spiraling out of control at an alarmingly fast rate here, Pulse. 7,000 gold disparity at nearly 19 minutes now through the game is significant.
Yeah, they're looking in really good shape. We'll see if they can keep on going. I would say, just based on their picks, that they really could, because Corki really shines in the mid game. Yes, he's very strong in the late game, but his abilities start to scale up to the point where he's really doing significant damage. And also Kasten, again, he's great at roaming. They have a very mobile team, and the Malphite Initiate could be very strong on top of the Shock Initiates with Assault and Battery. He's also got the teleport, so he can split push, and he's an incredible duelist because no one can probably face him at this stage, and they're stealing away the blue buff. Everything is going from better to better, honestly. It's all looking up for Copenhagen Wolves as they find themselves bogged down in the top lane. Mofire coming in from the side. They don't have that much damage, though. I say that, but now with Lenish coming in from the mid lane, huge damage coming in from Spotify. It's not quite enough, though, with the Cataclysm coming in just to zone them out. Shook charging up the Vault Breaker, pops them out of their Cal Marine, not at the right HP. And the rest of the team did come in to try and collapse, but not really the fight that they wanted. Looks like everyone's going to back off. We might see a potential re-engagement as they get aggressive into the mid lane.
They need to be careful though, because neither Unstoppable Force or Assault and Battery were used in that little skirmish. So if they went ham, really aggressive, they could have actually found themselves in a dangerous position and actually died as a result of it. So Lanish here is potentially going to get caught out of position. Here comes a Vault Breaker flashing through it instantly. Doesn't want to take any risks or gambles as the Spirit Rusher ultimate was down. And this is going to buy both Draven and also Nami a bit of time to pick up that tower at bot lane. Is Unlimited going to engage? You bet your life he is, because here comes Youngblood from the side as well. Grasping roots down into the bushes. Bogdan's trying his best to run away. Meanwhile, Corki and Draven are having a duel to the death. Corki's going to come out on top with the Triforce. It's just so strong. And the last Whisper as well. Now Bogdan is easy pickings, and the Predator Reckless will take that very comfortably. So 2 for 0 trade at bot lane, but they also picked up Ari in the mid.
Talk about being caught between a Malphite and a hard place.
Oh god.
I'll see myself out. So in the bot lane, we've got the 3-man push coming in from Copenhagen Wolves. They're looking so strong. Don't necessarily have the ultimate. But in fact, Youngblood didn't even use the Unstoppable Force. Malphite is gonna find himself Jarvan, but he's not really interested in engaging on this one. He might be able to just kind of push out the waves with, well, his flag and also the Dragon Strike. He's got to be very careful though, because he actually put down the flag first, then realised he couldn't use Dragon Strike because he would have pulled himself into them.
I agree. Freak, is that you? Loads of people in chat are asking, but they're actually right now, the thing on TTP's lips is, can we pull this one back? Do we want to engage? There's the Unstoppable Force and the Strangle Force as well, flanking and dragging away. Nice play from Mofire. So they are going to alleviate this pressure for now, but they lose a tower as a result, and they are just losing objectives thick and fast here. Ari has once again found herself in a precarious position. Can Lanish escape from this one? Look at those plants coming through as Kaltod rifts, walks through the wall, and does a lot of damage. But again, this is another vulnerable tower ripe for the taking.
It is indeed. In the bot lane, Reckless actually just farming up the golems, but now with Calmarine coming in from the side, along with Youngblood, they look too aggressive. Huge damage comes up from Forceful, and the Null Spear combo. However, Welling Death comes across, picks it one, the shutdown comes out. Flag and Frag comes in onto Reckless. They pick up the second shutdown of this fight so far. Cataclysm comes across, and the flash out from Youngblood is absolutely perfect. Damage comes in, but the CC does not. That's a 2-for-1 trade.
It is a 2-for-1, but can they realistically pick up any objectives afterwards? Because Dragon is down. Nearest tower are going to be second tier towers, which are all fairly healthy on hit points. In fact, they're all full, apart from the mid one that's lost about 300. So even though they do get the 1-for-2 trade, it's not really converting into anything here, Paul. So now mid's not looking too good. Shook is chasing after the Lanish and will pick up the kill and back away. So they do get the free pick, 35 seconds on that Death Chamber. So for all the work they just did before in that 1-for-2 trade, not really managed to get anything out of it.
Yeah, that was an excellent read by Shook right there. He knew that Ari must have used her ultimate in the last engagement, then just engaged her. He knew that the summons would be down as well, and the mark of a good player is that you keep track of all these cooldowns and all these summoners so that you can aggress onto them at the right time. It's a lot easier to do it in lane metas because you're like, okay, if I use my Ignite and they use their Ignite, then my Ignite's going to be up at the same time as theirs. It's not too difficult to kind of think about that. But in teamfights, when everything's hectic and you're thinking of your next move, keeping track of those things is really difficult. So right now, in the bottom jungle, trying to get themselves a pick because that would allow them to transition into an objective. In the bot jungle wouldn't be a potential Baron, but at least get themselves some breathing room.
And the breathing room is the important thing because they're currently being choked out from Copenhagen Wolves. They're in this claustrophobic environment in their own jungle where look at all the ward coverage that's actually down here from Copenhagen Wolves. Pretty much every bush is starting to be cleared out. I say ward, I mean oracles, of course. My tongue slipped there, had a bit of a lapse in concentration, but regardless, Unlimited is just clearing everything out right now. So not only are they having to deal with the fact that their jungle and their neutral creeps are being stolen, but all their ward coverage is too. Now Bogdanovic from the side is going to engage on counter, but he's easily going to riff walk away from that one without any issues whatsoever.
Yep, potential engagement could open up as they look really aggressive. The huge Malphite comes in with the 3-person knockup. Tidal Wave comes across for the counter initiate. It's just not enough though. With the Willing Death coming across, he picks up one. Bogdanovic, he drops into his passive. Now Unlimited's picking up the pieces along with Reckless, and he's still alive. The main clincher in that team fight. Draven is the one running out of here. Charge up with the Vault Breaker, looking for the last auto attack. He actually misses. It's to the wrong direction. He hits the wrong creep. That would have certainly been the kill with the extra damage from excessive force, but either way, that's a 4-2 trade. Advantage to Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, Draven's making an exit, but it doesn't really matter if all your towers are being killed and your inhib will follow. Yes, he's got Home Guard boots. How much damage can he realistically do here? Can he keep the tower alive? No, is the answer. So Copenhagen Wolves pick up 2 towers and a hatful of kills. It was 4 kills at the end there. So again, they're coming out ahead. 10,000 gold difference, Pulse, at 25 minutes. Soon to be 11,000 because Dragon is being picked up. That's no small order. That's a huge, colossal amount of difference. The only way that I can see the Time Police pulling themselves back from the jaws of defeat here is some epic Baron steal. And you know, I don't think Copenhagen Wolves are going to go for a quick Baron because they simply don't need it. They're winning straight up 5 versus 5. Why even bother with the Baron?
Yeah, and well, the Baron is often called the Throw Zone, or Lord Baron Throw, or whatever it is, because he is just, when you go onto that objective, it's worth mentioning that he doesn't reduce magic resistance, but he increases the damage from magic damage that goes onto you when you're being hit by Baron. It's a debuff, which I can't quite remember the name of, but when you have AP casters, especially someone like Ari, and someone a bit like Zac as well, yes, he doesn't offer all that much, but it's still significant when you have the increased damage. It really, really hurts you. So, at the Samsung Galaxy Frozone, I like it. But it really, really hurts you, so there's no reason for you to go for that as Copenhagen Wolves. On the flip side, as you're the team of the Time Police, you would want to go for that if you can get, like, say, 2 to 3 picks, because that would really allow you to come back into the game. But Copenhagen Wolves are never going to allow that to come into fruition.
Yeah, and the problem now is that Corki's starting to build towards even more dangerous items. Bloodthirst finished off alongside the Spectre's Cowl as well. So it's just a case of you can't really hope to kill Reckless. He's so big. He's got a very good front line in front of him, as we saw that last fight. The Unstoppable Force into Stranglethorn, just knocking everybody up a couple of times. That's not even mentioning the likes of Ysira's and also Kaltar's Kassadin. Either way, feel like a kill is on the cusp, and indeed it will be. What in the blue hell was Nico doing there? I have no idea, no answer for you. Corki's now been caught from Bogdanovic. I say caught, but actually probably the other way around.
Yeah, gotta get that farm and then die because you're Draven and you have no escapes. So in the top lane, Reckless kind of just sieging away, no one can really stop him. Bogdanovic is going to be charging it up, but the kill goes down onto Unlimited. He picks up one, but Vi over the wall. Where did he come from? He came in from their base. Counter comes in, over with Reckless. Huge Malphite ultimate. He's locked up by Bogdan. It's not going to be enough though, with Force Force coming across and a huge Talon Wave. But again, it's just not enough. It's too little, it's too late. And they pick up the middle inhibitor, and this is surely the first game.
Yeah, the GGs are already being called out from both teams. They're going to be in Death Chamber for 20 plus seconds unless Draven can make the biggest play ever and get the adoration of everybody permanently. Doesn't look likely. Nexus is falling very quickly. It's going to be game number 1 going to Copenhagen Wolves. And I don't normally throw around the word stomp very often, Pulse, but, well, Draven got crushed. That pretty much was, honestly. It was very one-sided. There was about a 5-10 minute period in time with the lane switch-ups where it was quite slow, and it was just kind of a farming frenzy. But as soon as the level 6s were hit by both Youngbuck and also Shook at bot lane, they just went ham, and they picked up kills. And from there on in, it was one-sided.